Bob Kravitz from bobkravitz.com joins us now. And Bob, there is a ton going on, mainly with the men's basketball and the portal or free agency, whatever you would like to call it. I think we should start calling it free agency.
That's what it is.
When especially now that you see players are requesting X amount of dollars, there are teams or regimes, and you don't have to go far, Indiana for one, that everything's on the line, which that was already the case for Mike Woodson. I mean, it's a make or break year, in my opinion. You either succeed this year or you don't. But the increase in obvious NIL money that was able to be garnered and used and will be used yet, as there are 4 more spots to be filled for Indiana, with Kanan Carlisle's expected to take one of those, but we'll see when that happens. But that really, I think that really makes it a make or break. You either succeed or you don't, because people are going to stop caring and giving money, more importantly.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. You know, we both grew up in an age when people were cheating their brains out, but we didn't want to acknowledge it. You know, certain schools were giving, $1,000 handshakes, and now it's above board. And frankly, it's better this way. You may disagree, and if you do, feel free, but at least it's above board. The kids, many of whom come from poverty, are making a good buck on their name, image, and likeness. It is an auction. There's no question. Matt Painter had that right. It is an auction. But, it's not like the old days where you went to Old State U because you loved the coach, or you loved the campus, or you love the pretty girls who walk around the school. No, now it's all about the buck. But you know what? It's been about the buck for a while now.
Absolutely. And in one way or another, whether it was the facilities arms race in football, that was the rage for a couple of years, the locker rooms and this and that. Right. And so now it's turned over to something else. And like I said, I'm fine with them making money. I think they should. Mike DeCourcy earlier in the week really lamented the fact of how, he asked a great question. Which was a more competent regime, Mark Emmert or the folks at the Pac-12? Not as comparison as money wise, but in the results of what happened, because the NCAA is, again, all they is a championship promoting business now. They have lost every single battle that they have fought in court. And not only that, it's all over the place, because you have states that are problematically sticking their nose into it in different ways. So now you've got in Virginia, this just happened yesterday, I believe, the governor signed NIL law that allows their school to speak directly to the athletes, where that previously. But right now, effectively July 1st, Virginia can talk directly, they can directly pay student athletes for NIL. No more needing a collective to do it, which I think is, I don't understand why it had to be the other way to begin with, why they thought sticking a media or a middleman in there when it's a hand-picked middle person anyway. So what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, they just can't wrap their heads around the idea of the school directly paying the kids. It's been that way since Mr. Byers, ran, was it Walter Byers ran the NCAA, like a fiefdom. But it's uncomfortable. And at the same time, oh, my battery's getting low. Oh, great. Okay. It's uncomfortable. It's not what we grew up with, but we just need to wrap our arms around it, and you know, understand that this is the way it's going to be for a long time. I'm going to plug in my computer here real quick.
Well, yeah, you do that. While I'm doing it, Jim P. Great initials. My name's James Patrick, but shouting us out from New Hampshire. That I don't remember that. I know we have people that listen in New Hampshire, but I don't remember seeing it. So welcome aboard. And Michael checking in from Greenback, Tennessee. But please continue.
No, that was my point. It's taking a while for me to embrace the current state of college sports. I mean, what's Ballo getting, about $1 million? You know,
I think it's just a little under that, probably around 800.
Okay. Well,
which I think would be the highest that an Indiana player has gotten to this point.
Right.
Is my guess.
The thing that bothers me is that this kid was at Gonzaga, then he was at Arizona, now he's at IU. You know, these guys, and I understand that they're playing for the bag. It's not like playing for Old State U. It's not like being it's not like, you're not doing it for your school, you're doing it for your bank account. And again, I understand that that's the way it is, and that's the way it's got to be. And these kids deserve some compensation, but it just feels like pro sports at this point.
Yeah, and that's in essence what it is. And in football, that's fine because the guys are going to be in school for 3 years at a minimum, not necessarily at your school for 3 years, as we saw with the I don't even care if I know his name. The kid from Arizona State that is now leaving, that was once committed to Florida, but left after they didn't come through with the payment, and now he is probably a top target of Georgia. So it's harder. I used to know when I was growing up, I knew the Cincinnati Reds lineup inside out, backwards, forwards, and I don't want to sound like I'll get off my lawn, but how it's getting more difficult when you grow your fan base and with that younger fans. It's kind of hard to grow a fan base when you don't know the players from year to year.
Well, this was the argument when free agency began in professional sports. This was the complaint that fans are loyal to their teams, but the players they have nothing tethering them to their teams. And look, I'm certainly in favor of as much freedom and as much cash as these guys can get. But yeah, I mean, when you've got a guy like Ballo who's at Gonzaga, I mean, was it Store? The kid's story. He was at 4 high schools in 4 years, and four colleges in 4 years. You know, that's a little bothersome to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And now he is at Kansas, of course, the school with the biggest bag of all. And they are reloading with no problem. And so they're going to, but yeah, it's just, and I see a lot of.
It's a Wild West.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't know what kind of guardrails you can put on. I mean, I think this is just going to continue to grow this way.
Yeah. And I don't know, the federal government is going to have to step in, because otherwise it's like leaving one state's road and going from asphalt to gravel, leaving another one and being on dirt. You cannot have different sets of rules across different state lines.
You need uniformity without question.
And if they don't get that set up, it's like right now, I don't know that, and this is not going to last, but Virginia has something that nobody else has.
Right.
And they can do that, which again, I don't. I wish that states wouldn't do this, but I'd like to understand the reasoning behind a governor who I doubt knows a whole lot about college athletics and the money that goes behind it and what he's doing. Maybe he just wanted to make a name for himself. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.